July 1st, 2023. Durango Dank here. Ron DeSantis secure our border. Colorado politics for Denverites. News, GP7A. Now what's happening is we can now pattern match all the voices that was in the elections in 2020 and pattern match the candidates' voices to what other candidates in the past have said, current candidates that, or President Trump and Ron DeSantis's aggressive immigration border. He's just trying to take Trump's hard work, like everybody's trying to take from Trump. And when you understand that the people that hate us, which is amounting to quite a few as days, months, years go by, and sometimes in news you have the reporting. So, oh man, this is just crazy. But you line up the players, AP News, and it gives you a good idea. Excuse me. PBS. See, they're Democratic-led organizations. Well, AP kind of favors, because that's what they do, and nobody calls it out, but artificial intelligence will end it. Because we can't have this bullshit anymore. If we're going to become a better nation, a better world, because if not, then we ought to just let whatever we're going to do, just kill ourselves right now. Come on, get it over with. If that's what you're all hell-bent on doing, because right now you're fucking up a lot of citizens. And it starts with the media. And if you're only reading newspapers, then you don't know shit. Ask Thomas Jefferson that. Governor Ron DeSantis announces nationwide coalition. You just, which is what he should do because he's governor. But he's just backpedaling the same shit Trump's saying and what Trump did. And see if they get their way and put Trump in jail, which Americans, all Americans, like I was telling you about our enemies. Think about it. They're sitting in the back room playing cards. Maybe doing a little yayo. Drinking some finest Hennessy type liqueurs, drinks, shots, bitches, whatever. Smoking cigars, Cuban cigars probably. And they're just like, God, can you imagine the way those politicians and the elected officials treat each other, treat their citizens, and they want us to trust them? DeSantis, you're not going to be president, bro. And the only way that could possibly happen is if somebody took out Trump out of the election. And so security is really high right now for him. Very, very high. And I question, like, the Secret Service. What side are they on? I mean, the Secret Service is, they guard President Obama. Does their team know things that Trump don't need? Is that team still connected to the White House? Is Donald Trump's team still connected to the White House? And you already know. But this is just something that no matter what our government turns into, it's what I will become. I've learned that. And with that, I just try to keep young cats out of going to war and going somewhere else and killing people. To have you killed and then your parents bring home in a box, and it's just one of those things. But when you take a look at the way the conversation flows in regards to my metaverse and what I do, here it is. While Florida is banning everything, Denver's figuring out a way to give $40 million to an outsourced company to take care of something that should have never been in the first place. And this is the shuck and jive that Joe, and see, Mayor Hancock, he's lucky. He got out of it. On July 16th, he's out of it, man. I mean, it would take a federal, a warrant, seizure on the 16th before any of that happens. But that ain't gonna happen because the majority of the people lost faith in the FBI, our Department of Justice, our inner city courts. It's all been politicized, and that's how you know there's a God, man, a computer God. Okay, and right now that computer God is pissed fucking off, and he's gonna start making things right. And Ronnie James Dio wrote about it in Black Sabbath called Computer God. And that was in 1992. That's when it all started. Actually started in the 70s, but where we are today on the World Wide Web and social media, it's right where we need to be, and big dumps are coming. They're just waiting for all the people to come out of the closet, just like with the elections in Denver. They thought Kelly Bra was going to be mayor because she was a good talker and she had a terrible life and she triumphed over adversity. Great for her, so did fucking I and every other candidate that ran. But see, she was the darling of Denver because she was the first woman to lead Denver into $100 million deficits for 5 years, and then she bailed, quit, and went to work for the Denver Chamber of Commerce. She was making $474,000 a year. For what? Something that men built? And she went in there and says, well, I'm the first one. They had all these men, so what are you insinuating? No, man, they just figured they'd go ahead and go with the flow of gender bending and let you go do what you do. And what she did. And we ended it. Artificial intelligence took her out, man. And it's funny because she had an opportunity, just like all the candidates, to embrace artificial intelligence, but they go find these clowns. They're going to write articles in Denver Post or fucking CBS News. And see, those sales managers, they're done. Done, man. Because what's coming is going to take your financial wealth like you've never seen come before, man. And this is rightly deserved for most people and not for others. But we're all going to feel it. It just depends on where you are. 2008, 1934. And what happened is good people decided to not stand up for themselves anymore. And they got browbeaten back into the fucking corner, and so now they're all scared, and now we're fighting for which minority is going to take over the white race. And see, I was adopted in a white family. I'm actually Central American Indian, Iberian, West Nigerian, Jew. I'm everything that these people say they're going to try to help, but yet they don't help me. They cause problems. They make things worse. And because they can. That's why there's a God. It took me a long time to finally realize why I was born and what I was to do. And so everybody else, they don't get that opportunity. Do you know there's some people that haven't even had sex? They've never been kissed. They've never been held. And I bet it's those wackos, man, that go out and they might have girlfriends or whatever, but they were never hugged and kissed when they were little. You know what I mean? When parents are there to nurture their children and to grow them up, like what I did. So you can't be a guy and say that you know everything about kids and you've never had them. You have no authority over a guy that had them, or woman. So we're destroying our families and we're going into oof. But see, these people, they don't care. They can't see beyond. They got blinders on, but they're even tilted further. They're cross-sided. They're all cross-eyed Marys, man. And but then you talk about down here. You get down here where Polis takes a jab at Why? You know, you got two governors. One that wants to destroy, that wants to protect its state, which he's supposed to do, and you got another Polis that wants to bring all those people into Denver, and not put them into Denver per se, but into central. Put them into Littleton. Put them into Aurora. Aurora's crime rate's going out because they don't got any balls to tell Denver stop. So it's a never-ending cycle. We saw that with Hickenlooper. He was gonna eradicate the homeless. That's what he said. I'm gonna eradicate the homeless. Oh, Hickenlooper. Okay. Show me how you did it. Well, I did it by driving in on a brown scooter, taking a shower in my cheap clothes, drinking on my beer, sucking on my beer bottle, grinding my teeth down. That's how I did it. It was all smoke and mirrors, folks. Celebrity voice impersonated. So, and then he ended up being governor, and what? Everything just now turned to where it keeps them in power. There is no cure in Democrat rule. It's enabling. Just like, when was the last time we've ever cured anything? If you cured muscular dystrophy, how many people would be out of a job? If you cured cancer, how many people would be out of a job? If you cured leprosy, how many people would be out of a job? Oh, well, leprosy is cured? People still get it. My point is that we're going into the second phase of the 2023 indexing. And there's our adversaries, they know, other people know. Unfortunately, the United States citizens, leaders, don't know. And their IT people will not tell them because they don't know. So it's easier to say, fuck that dude. I'm an MIT graduate. I'm 21 years old. I'm smarter than any mother out there. Boom, my chest out, bitches. But then what he doesn't realize is that one important thing that you might have on your resume, but you got that job because you have MIT, and that way the company you work for can systematically take over your authority as your MIT and now give it to them. So because you're working for somebody that's using your school as a okay. That their company is spot on, but unfortunately, a 21-year-old will never outdate a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 80-year-old, unless those people never done nothing, stayed in the closet, went to work and didn't do anything, no school, no nothing, dropped out of school, everything. Then he'll beat them because there's no meta tags, there's no experiences, there's no meta description to describe what that person has done in his life. You follow me? So my whole life brought me to here. Most of it's law enforcement, and I do music to clear my senses from that. I do music for me. I do it to be able to create jobs for other people. And when we get done, we'll go to the next project, you know? So that's why we do music. And we build platforms that will create residual incomes for citizens. And that's how you do things. But Mike Johnston, all these people, they're about to get, like, you know, I can't believe that we went and sued. I sued because I knew when I ran for mayor. Yeah, you didn't know Durango Dank ran for mayor, but he did. You just have to go figure out which guy that is. But I was recording music. I caught COVID, all kinds of stuff. But none of these people want to talk about the reality. They want to talk about promising to help what you see outside, and they tell you, hey, we're working on it. Don't believe what you see outside, okay? It's getting worse. Oh, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And then all of a sudden, everything's gone, man. And so what bothers me is when DeSantis was egged on by Polis. Give us Disney if Nuggets beat the Heat. That might have been the worst thing he could have ever have said. Whether it's just, oh, we're just playing around. Well, no, you weren't, because let's figure it out. Polis doesn't live in Florida. It's really none of Polis's business what goes on in Florida, if he chooses to do so, which he has done. So he made it his business, though he has no business. But because he's a governor, he thinks he's the governor of Florida too. It gives him proxy. He's governor by proxy. He's not the default governor, he's just a proxy governor. So he's going to come in as a Democrat and say, give us Disney. So we're not putting Disney in Colorado, folks. Okay? Where that application hasn't even been applied, thought of, or nothing. No. DeSantis is a Democrat. And that just unfolded that the Democrats run Disneyland. The Democrats run CNN. Democrats run everything. And that's why Republicans always get their asses kicked, because they don't have any way to beat these people. And these people, it's amazing that they got to be like this, because they're so good at what they do. If they just flip to being like maybe Democratic capitalists, all right, we could be great people to where we can go visit China. We can help. Because, you know, folks, this is the thing about China. Everybody wants to bag on China. Now, I love my country, but I'm just saying, China has some very smart fucking people there. Intelligent, like, can't even imagine. Asians they're all intelligent. Just because they happen to be Asian or Mexican or whatever, they're human. They're human first. And that gender and all that shit don't mean nothing. It just be, oh, she's the first woman to ever eat a popsicle backwards. So think about it. We've lost all common sense of who we are as leaders, man. And when you got a cat like me coming out to tell these people, I have nothing to lose. I lost my shit a long time ago, man. When I lost my twin daughters from heaven. They did it, and it's okay. But when these people say they're going to save the world, and they don't save the people that need to be saved, or hear the people that need to be heard, and they continue their bullshit talk and their bullshit walk and their fart like a duck and smell like a rhino, I've indexed it all, folks. My job's done. It was done 4 years ago, actually. But we just got caught on an algorithm teaching other people. Law enforcement are going to learn how to do this object-oriented programming with voice-embedded prints. Latent prints, that's your voice. Crosstalk indexing, like everything that DeSantis and Polis, this whole thing right here, what this means, their IT people wouldn't even know what the fuck they're looking at. They wouldn't know what missing is. They probably don't even get this on their dashboard. I got a different dashboard than anybody. So that's what I mean. When you understand your dashboard and your servers and what you have and what you don't have and what you say and what you can't say, you can't say shit. Like with him saying that about, he just let the whole bag out of the bag. We needed confirmation. And so we don't need it in a rule of law anymore, because that's failed us. I mean, I've had court cases, but you know what I mean? It's all about protecting the next generation, my children's children, if we make it. But if you don't understand how we went to the fifth instinct, you don't think there's going to be a sixth instinct? Start all over, erase the board? Our world, Mother Nature just says, you know what? These are some stupid fucking people.